there was apparently some chanting and then dancing around this fire that was taking place. I'm Katie Einstein, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Love has practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Welcome, everybody, to Strangeful Things. I am Katie Einstein, and I am here with the marvelous Shuey. Hi, Shuey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's great because Satan. It's going to be a lot of Satan.
That's what makes it great.
Well, you know what? When you talk about religion, only one can be right. So there's an equal chance for all of them, except probably Scientology and Mormons,
and also the Unitarians, because they're like, everybody's okay. Like, no, everybody's not okay.
What the hell's the point of that?
If you can't fight over it,
If somebody doesn't win
over it,
what was the point of
is
playing?
it not worth? You must worship me with blood.
That's the oh wow, that was, and you don't even know what this is about, but you just put your finger right in it, buddy. So that's not a great way to put it, but let's do new and good before we get to the finger part.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah.
I never have new and goods, but I do wanna challenge our listeners to see, because an amazing thing happened this past week. 'Cause, last week my new and good had to do with the Jets winning. Well, this past week Alabama's football team lost. So I want to know if anybody can figure out when the last time was that those two things happened in the same week.
Wow.
Because Alabama loses 1 or 2 games a year. The Jets win 3 or 4 games a year. Not a lot of overlap.
That was like the when it was on April 5th, 2006 at 1:02 and 3 seconds in the morning.
Yeah.
I love those things. Oh, it's not going to be like this for another bazillion years or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. My new and good is that I am being released from the toxic hellscape of the project that I'm on, and I'm going to go on to another project, which I don't know a lot about yet, but it could be, for it to be worse than the one I'm on, it would have to be really bad. And I don't foresee
like what's a for instance bad, like
the first thing I had to do for them.
Yeah.
I had to work all of Labor Day weekend. Like,
right.
For a slide deck that nobody looked at past like the first 4 slides, and I didn't know any of it. Like, so you get, all right, take these facts and make them into a story. Okay, well, I don't understand the facts, and I don't know what the story is supposed to be. So none of these things are going to happen. None of them. So why don't you just give me a big column of numbers to add up? Because I can do that. Lickety split. So, and apparently, the customer wants to talk to my boss. Because we had a meeting, and I was like, oh, he said, I'm sure they're going to say really good things, and I was like, well, I hope they do. And he's like, yeah, no, this. He goes, this client won't, and they all laughed, like they won't. So
that's not what they do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be footloose.
Well, good for you, man.
That's right.
Good for you.
Good for you. So we're gonna talk about Satan. And I'm not going to lie, buddy. This is not going to be a super long episode. But the last
one was an hour and a half.
Yeah. So it kind of evens out.
So, yeah,
Plus,
it all works out in the end.
This one has Satanism and kids and Florida.
Oh.
So that
and Florida.
So that is a beautiful mix. And
you're gonna tie Walt Disney into the whole thing?
He wishes. Oh, you know what? Just to go off on Disney for a minute.
Please do.
So I got. Oh, by the way, listeners, I got involved in a thing, and I'll have more details about it. Maybe I'll get a promo about it to work into the show. But later this month, I'm going to be in a debate with another fella, and I have to be or represent Hannibal Lecter, and he is going to represent Dexter, and we are going to figure out who would win. Now, guy doesn't have a chance. Not a chance.
No way.
But I forgot that they made a new Hannibal in 2007. I forgot they made this thing 14 years ago. This is how little of a splash it made about Hannibal when he was a kid. And
when he was a kid?
Yes. The origin story of Hannibal Lecter, and the guy that wrote the original books wrote the story.
Harris?
Yes,
right?
Harris. But the only reason he did it was the studio said that if he didn't do it, they were going to make it up on their own.
Oh.
And he was like, fuck that. So it's not great, but so I was trying to figure out where to watch it. And it was
a cartoon?
on. It was a real
like
movie.
A Muppet thing?
No, it's like what the fuck were they? The HR Puffin stuff, those big Sigmund the Sea Monster, big Sigmund fluffy things.
Or who are the bees? The bugaloos.
Oh fuck, the bugaloos. Yeah. Oh man,
we're in the air and everywhere.
Yeah, you know what? But everybody that listens to us will know exactly what we're talking about. So the movie was on Amazon Prime, so I'm like, hooray!
Right.
And it said it's free if you watch it with commercials. So I got so enraged at
the prospect of watching commercials.
Fucking Hulu Plusing with Amazon that I lost my shit. I was like, no, we're watching it on Tubi then, because if Tubi has commercials, but they're not already rich like fucking Amazon.
Like Amazon.
So while I was fiddling around getting there, I said, ALEXA, who owns Tubi? Fox Entertainment, which is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So
which is owned by Disney. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. There's only
who owns Hulu.
Yeah. There's four companies. There's four fucking companies, and we're just shoveling all our money to them. Meanwhile, running around going, look how convenient my life is, as we work ourselves into dust.
Into death.
Yes. Yeah. God damn shit.
I got an email at 6:00 tonight from this poor woman I work with, whom I love, that because she was off today and I was covering her for one meeting, she had to check in to see how everything went and was, do you need anything for tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. Like, take a fucking day off.
Yeah, right?
Like, you have to be able to turn off or else you go fucking nuts.
Yeah. Well, we shouldn't even have to, but we'll get into that in another episode about how everything we do all day, every day is a big fucking scam.
Yep.
Fuck them. But today, it's Satan. So.
Yeah, fuck him.
Well,
I guess it depends.
Now.
We'll get into it.
Everybody remembers the Satanic Panic to one degree or another, where these kids started in the 80s, started saying that, there were all these satanic rituals and they were getting sacrificed and fucked in the school and whatever. And it's sort of tied to Franklin cover-up because there was that element of Franklin cover-up.
Yeah.
But in this instance,
and
it was
happening at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the 80s, and there was this huge thing, and turned out that the kids were completely fucking lying. At least in the
it was all
a
bullshit.
bunch of people's that worked at a daycare, their lives got ruined because the kids were making shit up. And I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, so it unless Freddy Krueger is your teacher, odds are your teacher is all right. But that's only because there's so many teachers. Because, every institution does weird shit and covers it up. Every institution. You want to talk about how the Catholic Church is full of pedophiles? Well, I see your Catholic Church and raise you the post office. Now, do I have any proof of that? None whatsoever. But what's the post office going to do? Sue me for slander? Wait, slander is when you say it?
Slander's when you say it, libel's when you write it.
Yeah. If it wasn't in fucked up shit.
The summons will get here slower since they're slowing down the post office anyway.
Why would the head of the post office call themselves a general if they weren't into some weird shit? So the Satanic Panic was an actual thing. And there is an established...
the panic was,
yeah. There's an established Church of Satan, which trolls Christians like to no end. Like when Christians go, oh, well, it's okay if we just put this Bible in the school or whatever. Like every time they try to get into the public schools, the Church of Satan is like, okay, then we can too, right? And they're like, no. And it's like, well, but if they can do it, we can do it. So that's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there are examples of real, true, actual terrible things that were done in Satan's name.
Right.
So, of course, I have some examples for you.
Well, please.
I'm leading off.
Can I then go into the terrible things that were done in other people's names?
No, because that's a given.
Oh.
I've got 4 things. What you get?
I was going to talk about you. Oh, I'm sorry.
No one does anything in my name. They just do it to blame me for shit. That's completely different. If you don't invoke me until afterwards, then it's not doing it in my name. It's just scapegoating me. So, Grant Boyette, 18, of Pearl, Mississippi, had his own honest-to-God cult.
Nice.
The Croft cult was apparently named for some satanic verse thing, not the
Sid and Marty Croft.
No. Wow.
Like we were talking about
maybe
earlier.
That's why that was in my head. No, not
exactly.
What the fuck was the guy's name that wrote the satanic verses? Padma Lakshmi's husband? That doesn't matter. Salman Rushdie.
Hey, yeah.
Not that satanic verse, like some other satanic verse. Anyway.
All right.
One of his buddies, one teenager that was in the cult, his name is Luke Woodham. He went into their school in 1997, smuggling a rifle, and he killed Christina Menifee, 16, and Lydia K. Dew, 17.
Right.
And he got caught. They went to his house. They found that he had stabbed his mother to death. Now, there were more than a few kids in this cult.
Right.
Some made a weird plot to poison a doorknob to try and kill their father. And what door would only the father go in?
His personal room, like we talked about last week.
Yes.
His secret room.
Yeah, I guess. Well, then he would have it coming, I suppose. But Woodham, the murderer, and another kid who they think was probably Boyette, the head of the whole thing, killed Woodham's dog.
Right.
And of course, the fucker had a journal, which the cop said was a manifesto, which I think it automatically becomes a manifesto if you write something down and then kill people. It's a manifesto.
Yeah, it becomes a manifesto.
In the thing, they said they beat the dog with a club, wrapped it in garbage bags, torched it with a lighter and flammable fluid, listened to it whimper, and tossed it in a pond. And the kid said, on Saturday of last week, I made my first kill. The victim was a loved one, my dear dog Sparkle. And he described way more of it, but I am actually using restraint and not saying what it was he said. You can look it up yourself.
I'd rather not.
All in all, 6 kids were arrested.
Right.
Now, our cult is like, it's just us. That's not many.
No.
I mean,
that's not much of a cult.
No. And he got 6 and he was only 18.
Yeah, because he put some effort into it. It's working hard.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it's 18-year-olds. They're a lot more impressionable.
You got to do the work.
Than middle-aged people.
Well, you will be happy to know.
Join our cult.
Join our cult of laying around.
Join the Lions Club.
Or the Elks. What do they do in those things?
I don't know. Well, they're all like 90-year-old men now, right?
I mean,
like,
those guys.
Nobody young joins those things, do they?
I hope that they are actually worshiping Satan. Like that would make it worth it.
That'd be much cooler.
According to the Elks website, which holy shit, this website has not been updated since I'm gonna say AOL. 2008. Because it's fucking straight and right in the middle of the page, like a complete. Holy shit!
That's because the guy who was doing it's passed on.
Who are the Elks? Elks care. Elks share. Are you an elk? Well, no, I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I don't think if we're gonna bust open a big conspiracy, it's not gonna be the fucking Elks.
I think the Elks are going to fit the bill.
Because you know what? They're not going to get anybody to sign it. Anybody that would sign up based on this website is the kind of person that would be an elk. And instead of filling out the contact form, they would probably print it and write in it with pen. So, never mind the Elks. They're not getting their own episode. If the Croft cult is more compelling, even though they're rotten murderers. Now, Woodham, the one that actually killed people, he ended up getting life for each of the 3 murders, and he will be eligible for parole in 2046.
Good for him.
Which, if he gets out, he'll undoubtedly kill himself.
70 yet?
He'll be 65, they said, and he'll kill himself like the old dude in Shawshank Redemption. What was his name? Hobbs or whatever?
I don't remember.
Whatever was here.
I don't remember.
Yeah. So this is an example of the power of, I mean, you could say suggestion, but they said Satan. If they had said, I mean, what was it? It was 1997. If they had said Smash Mouth, because we were just talking about how the Smash Mouth guy is retiring because he's a drunken fool.
Hey, now you're an all-star.
Yeah, right. If they were the all-star cult, and before they killed people, they went, "Hey, now," they wouldn't make it into this story because it wouldn't be Satan related. But they said Satan,
right?
Because every time somebody says Satan, somebody puts a little a marble in a jar to bolster their case about how bad Satan is. Oh, in
Exactly.
2011.
It could just as easily be, I don't know, something else.
You want That's what a color man.
Nothing.
It could just as easily
I'll come up with
be.
something I'll come up with something before I get to the end of the sentence.
Yeah, and then probably you'll.
And then I'm there. The light's green, but
Either that, or you're gonna just think of something just before you edit it and take all this part out and make yourself sound like a big
this
genius.
is all coming out. This is all going on the outtakes.
God damn it! Well, in 2011, 2 girls took knives to school in Bartow, Florida. Now, they didn't manage to kill anybody because the authorities were tipped off to the plot. But here are some things that the girls told the detectives. Number 1, they were practicing Satanists, and they had been planning an attack on other students for the past couple of days. That doesn't seem to be a lot of planning.
Yeah, that's not a lot of planning for such a big undertaking.
Well, and their plans were ambitious. They wanted to kill at least 15 people, and
with knives.
They were waiting for the opportunity to find smaller kids so that they could overpower them.
So the only potential victims were people smaller than these 2 girls?
Yes. So basically, if you were afraid of the 8th graders, you had reason to be. So they also said that they were Satan worshipers, and they made comments that they were willing to drink blood and possibly eat flesh. I'm not sure where the willing part comes in, because it didn't seem like somebody else was there going, okay, well, now you're going to drink their blood. Like, that doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But since they were...
Is somebody going to be like, would you drink blood?
Since they were...
Yeah.
Would you?
I would be willing to.
Yeah. If the price was right, they posted information about the attack on social media. And when they got the kids' phones, they found out that they wanted to leave body parts at the school entrance before killing themselves. Now, did they do any of that? Nope. But here's the most fuckity part of this whole thing. They were 11 and 12. Now, I don't understand anything about children. I just go by the neighbor kid, and she's like 6 now. And I couldn't, if I saw her and didn't know her and somebody said, how old was she? I would be like, I don't know, 2. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure that 11 and 12 is pretty small and young.
Yeah, they're not full people yet.
They're not even teenagers, so you can't even blame them for being stupid teenagers. Right?
Yeah, but it doesn't really wait until 13.
Yeah, I guess you could be stupid at any age. Anyway,
exactly.
I didn't look up what happened to them because they were in 11 and 12, so what the fuck is going to happen to them? They didn't even actually do anything.
Yeah, but like, how do you get to that point as an 11-year-old?
I don't know. Their mother was probably watching
like, where
true
are you
crime
getting
or
this shit,
listening to this show or shit like that. It's probably where they get it.
Yeah, more than likely.
And then my last school / Satan example.
Mm-hmm.
A female teacher is being accused of initiating a primary school pupil into Satanism. This is a news story from a website that I would name, except that I'm pretty sure it gave me a virus, so I'm not naming it because I don't want anybody to go there. Remember when you used to open websites and they would just open a million more windows and you couldn't close them, and it just like it was a mad race to see if your computer shut down or you could close them all?
Yep.
But this was a news anyway. The 39-year-old woman, identified as Esther Gudoshava, was arrested and charged with assault. The teacher at Ngezi Primary School in Zimbabwe is set to appear in court on March 20th. Now, this was, I think, 2019. Gudoshava, who resides in the Kidoma area of Zimbabwe, was summoned to court on Wednesday in order to return for commencement of trial. It's the state's case that on March 6th, the accused ordered the complainant to go out of the classroom. While outside, she allegedly took a razor blade from her handbag and cut the pupil underneath her right leg. Then the prosecutor said she wiped off the blood from the wound using a cloth taken from her handbag, put the cloth back in her bag, and then told the kid not to tell anybody. So how about that?
That doesn't even make any sense. So what's the point? So she just cut this kid's leg?
Well, then she kept the blood. I think that's the point. That's the spooky part.
Ah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what happened to her either because I couldn't go through that site anymore to find out. Anyway.
Well, I'm guessing something or else it wouldn't have been a story, right?
No, exactly. I mean, all they did was talk about her pretrial hearing. I mean, the kid, for all we know, the kid was asking for it. Anyway.
They're all asking for it.
What I'm trying to do with all this is establish the fact that the idea of Satan and doing stuff for and or with Satan is not completely foreign to the classroom. Now, again, it's nothing compared to what happens with other supreme beings in the classroom, and also nothing compared to, I'm sure, the amount of teachers that molest their students and never get caught, and the unions protect them.
Yep. There were 2 at my kid's high school.
Really?
Yeah, they were dating students.
Ugh, so gross. There were 2 at my high school too, when my brother and I were both there. And we actually did the joke that Mac did on Always Sunny before he did. Because after we found out that 2 of our teachers, one of them who was like one of the most popular teachers in the whole school, we were both like, so what, we weren't attractive enough? And then they did that on Always Sunny much, much later. But anyways.
They did. I can't believe you never sued.
Now we're going to talk about Danielle Harkins. Danielle Harkins, the lady who is the title of this episode. She was a wife and a mother in St. Petersburg, Florida. In 2011.
Florida again.
Yeah, well.
2011 again.
I know. She was 35. She was married. She had a 4-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. She was a literacy teacher at Leelman and Asian Neighborhood Family Center and had been for about 4 years. Now, the school still exists, and so does the program. According to their website, it says, literacy is the key to success in school and in life. Our caring literary specialist helps children increase their reading skills to grade level and beyond. Take advantage of these services and enroll your child in the after-school or summer program. So, things were pretty good.
That's a powerful message.
Until. So now, I wrote down an ellipsis after until, but you can't see it. So now, what do you think happened? What do you think the until was with this lady with her nice life?
Yeah, I have no idea. Till some kid accused her of molesting her or something?
No. She had a personal, what people kind of called a triggering event.
Oh.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I've had any triggering events because I'm too lazy to actually do stuff, so there's nothing to be triggered. Have I?
I have no idea.
Nah, if I had, I would have told you about it so you would know. Yeah, no, I got nothing.
True.
I got nothing. As far as you guys know. Maybe on the Patreon I'll tell all the real stories about my deeds. What happened to Danielle, though, is that she got divorced from her husband. And she seems to have taken it pretty badly. So I'm going to guess that he was the one who left her. But
Right.
to add to the spicy mix of problems, she had been accused, actually, there was a complaint filed of sexual violence perpetrated by her. Which
Against whom?
Him.
Against him?
Yeah.
So it was a nasty divorce.
Yeah, it could have been. Maybe he thought that she was just going to give him a regular handy, and instead she, did it like it was a bottle of ketchup.
Choked it off.
No, just grabbed it and whacked the top really hard.
Popped it.
Yeah. Or she
Squeezed
acted
it
like it was
top popped off.
she was revving up a motorcycle. Actually, that's not how it's supposed to go. Now,
Well, maybe she could do the spider.
Conversely, she filed a domestic violence injunction against her husband, not at the same time. Now, that's not nearly as funny as her batting his dick around, but nobody knows if it really happened or not because in both instances they were dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
So the overall impression is the relationship must have been fairly toxic, but she still took the divorce pretty hard, and she got religious. Like, overly.
Yeah.
And her friend, Lisa Cope, said that one time Danielle came to her house, and when Lisa opened the door, she told me I was okay, Cope said. She said I didn't have any demons. So that's a relief for her.
Thank
anyway.
goodness for that.
It would have been super awkward
Would
if
you
she
throw holy water on her when she opened the door?
How awkward would it have been? Oh, you do have demons. Well, what does that mean?
Or she started burning.
Yeah, exactly. I feel
At least
like
that's how it works on Supernatural.
I never watched that show. Was it good?
It was really good.
Well,
it was on 15 years though, so it's too late. You can't go back and watch 300 episodes of something.
No, I can't do anything 300 times.
Exactly.
Except this show. Ha-ha! So, if you came over and I opened the door and said, and you said that it was okay because I didn't have any demons, I would immediately A, want to know how you knew, and B, who does?
You're looking for some tea.
Because I would take it at face value. Why would you lie to me? Why would you lie to me about your ability to diagnose demonic possession?
Why would you lie about such a thing?
It would be funny that it would have been funny if she said I didn't have any demons, so I closed the door and went back to my heroin. But she didn't go back to heroin. Or maybe she did. I don't know. I wouldn't tell the paper that either. So I wonder how many people have gone to jail by accidentally saying too much in a interview.
Yeah.
No. He didn't kill him. I did. I mean, no. Damn it. Off the record.
You don't want me. You want.
So, Now we're going to get down to the nitty gritty about Danielle. I mean, it wouldn't be much of a story if all she did was walking around telling people that they didn't have demons. That would be super fucking lame. We need to talk about who did have demons. And who was it? Well, her students, of course. Her demon-riddled students. So, how do I know all this? Well, let me explain. She told 7 teenagers. Now, remember, this is like an after-school thing. So it's not like this was, I don't know, the fucking grammar school. I don't know where you go to school. You know what I mean? Like the regular school with bells and different classrooms and kids walking around slapping each other's books out of their hands. You know, school like they have on TV. This was an after school program.
Yeah. This is like 4-H or something like that.
She told 7 teenagers, 6 boys and a girl, to meet her by the St. Petersburg Pier at dusk. So now, right off the bat, this seems like it would not be a thing that students would regularly do, right? Like, would your kids have gone?
Right. No, they would not.
Or they would have told, right?
Yeah, they definitely would have said something to us.
Yeah, we're going to the park with Miss Harris.
Yeah.
This is why a lot of people assume that there was a lot of grooming going on. You know what I mean? Like, people were throwing the word grooming around pretty
so,
liberally.
Like, treating the kid different.
Yeah, she wasn't like going there trying to fuck him. She wasn't like Mary Kay Letourneauing it.
Right. Yeah, that was a beautiful love story.
Oh man, I thought she was so hot when it first happened. I was super jealous. I mean, not really jealous because I wouldn't want to be raped by an adult woman when I'm a child. But, I mean, I wasn't a child. Anyway, when they got there...
It was different back then.
Yeah. Really wasn't. Really wasn't Jerry Lee Lewis. So, when they got there, she told them that they all had demons in them.
Oh, boy.
We assume that's what she told them. She may have told them earlier... Or technically, she might have said, all right, class, anyone with demons in them, meet me by the pier at dusk. It's weird how I don't have many details. You would think these things would be easily obtainable, right? Like,
you'd think.
It's so vague. But they made the fire, they did the dancing, and the way to get the demons out, obvi, was to cut the kids. Now this would ooze the demons out because apparently demons can't come out of your more traditional body holes or else nobody would be afraid of like ass demons that could just slip out at any time. These were...
There's like farts.
Yeah, but there's so many holes in you.
Yeah. Well, again, to go into supernatural, they used the mouth. The demon would be able to come out through your mouth or go in through your mouth.
See, I'd go in it.
It was like a cloud thing.
I would go in the ear, probably.
And you got to get past the eardrum.
Oh. I'm a demon, not a doctor. I don't know. All right, up the ass it is.
Up the ass, you got a lot of intestine to work with.
Yeah, but if you're... we're assuming that the demon has to go in a hole, which means that they also had to like wait for somebody to open the door for them to get in. Like you get like into the room.
And where do they have to go once they're in? Like what's the ultimate?
Exactly. Like, that's so stupid. It's so stupid. Everybody, so the fuck. Oh no, the demons can only get when you're outside and if you're not wearing pants. Because, or at least not underwear. Anybody going commando is in a danger zone. So we were talking last night. Last night we did Castle Rock Historical Society, crhistorical.com live. Thanks for not coming to see it, Chewy. But we
What was last night?
Huh?
I was busy last night. I was very busy last night.
You're not busy.
Actually, I went to bed early. I'm an old man.
Exactly. That's what I thought. Anyway, we were ranking horror movie tropes, and we started talking about possession in general, and then my thought was, why do the demons always possess like kids when they should possess MMA fighters, so then they would be super strong on top of already having crazy demonic strength? You know what I mean?
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like if you have your choice between if you have your choice between some dumb kid or like a Navy SEAL, totally possess the SEAL.
Yeah, but then everybody's looking for it from the SEAL. Nobody's looking for it from the kid.
Yeah, but what are they going to do if they're looking for it?
And like, if you can already like create crazy demon power, how much more is their human power going to help?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think demons know how to like fucking snipe you from 2 miles away. I don't know.
Chop.
They just exactly. They can't karate chop you to death. So her plan was they gotta get cut
them out,
and after the cutting part, she needed to cauterize the wounds with fire. That way, the demon would not be able to get back in. This was her.
She's on fire.
She thought this out.
Oh my God.
So she told the kids to cut each other, and then I realized that even if you were going to take everything she said at face value and say, okay, she did have superpowers, and she did know that there were demons, and everything she was saying was true,
right,
that would assume that if I cut you, the demon would come out.
Right.
And I needed to cauterize the wound so the demon couldn't get back in.
Right.
But if you cut me at the same time, why wouldn't we just switch demons?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've got a bunch of demons just milling around, wondering what's going to happen. And whoever's last in line to get cauterized is going to get all the demons.
Right.
I'm just saying that it was not thought
it doesn't
through.
Make any sense.
Yeah.
Like if you put any real thought into it.
Yeah, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was actually trying to help the children. I dare say she made it worse.
These poor dumb kids.
So, one got cut in the neck with a piece of broken bottle, and she heated up.
So she didn't even supply razors or anything?
No, I think they just found shit on the ground. Like, this stick is kind of sharp. So, the only like metal thing she did was she heated up a key with a lighter and she put it on the neck of the kid that got cut with the bottle. That was a pretty smart way to cauterize it. Now, I don't know how much patience she had. Like, I doubt that the key was like glowing red. Also, it would have burned her fingers long before she could have gotten it hot enough to actually cauterize his neck. So I think she just kind of got the key warm and jabbed it at him.
That's probably closer to it. I did that to somebody once that I was working with at the deli. She asked if she could borrow a quarter, and I was like, sure. So I held a quarter in tongs and put a lighter underneath it.
Oh.
And then was like, oh, yeah, it's right there. She grabbed it. That was fucked up, man.
That's assault. You know what? To this day, that woman can't, like, flip pages with that finger, even if she licks it.
She still doesn't have a fingerprint.
That's right, you bastard. It's just a picture of George Washington. Son of a bitch. You're a monster. All right.
I was a monster.
Now, she tried to cauterize some of the other cuts, but her lighter kept blowing out. So that's just kind of fucking sad and lame. Like, if
she could have at least brought a creme brulee lighter.
Yeah, well, if it's going to be, if the alternative to the cauterizing is the demons going back into the kids after their designated timeout period, then she needs to fucking step it up.
Exactly.
So This was her plan B for one poor fucking kid. She poured perfume on his hand and lit that on fire. Now that worked.
Another funny story. Also at said deli. This was after we did it at school. I sprayed my hand with Lysol and lit it.
Yep.
But I had put too much on my hand and it would not go out. Yeah, I still have the scars. It's on my right hand. Well, but I learned never to do that again. Not that I should have needed to do it to learn not to do it again.
Yeah, set yourself on fire. And
kids at home, don't try that.
Nope. Maybe I'll put the picture of the lit up room because I still have one of those pictures. Anyways, she said that she was trying to brand the kid when she did the thing with the perfume, which doesn't make any sense. The key would have been the brand. Like
you don't
that
brand
would make sense.
By just setting on fire.
But at the end of it, the cops said that only 2 students were injured. So I guess they half-assed the whole thing, and she couldn't get
pretended to cut themselves,
or just sucked at it because all they had was a piece of broken bottle and I don't know, like a fucking I bit this Necco wafer in half, so that's pretty.
Put your finger inside this open can of soda,
yes,
and move it back and forth.
Here, wait. I have a knife. Should we use the knife? No. What we need to do is try to separate these frozen pre-made hamburger patties with the knife. That'll make sure that we get cut for sure.
We'll definitely cut ourselves.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So this all happened. Now you would think that this was a big to-do among the kids, but it really wasn't. In fact, Danielle would have gotten away with it. She would have gotten away with the whole thing, except one kid texted his friend about it, and the friend told his parents, and the parents called the cops. So if that one kid hadn't gotten lippy,
kept his mouth shut,
that's right, and not texted Chet or whatever his name was, then she could have been demonizing those kids once a week. Because obviously, if they get in through cuts, kids are cutting themselves all the time. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I scraped my knee.
Demons! What?
Maybe she thought pouring peroxide on open wounds was demonizing them.
Well, that the bubbles are proof of demonic activity coming out of you.
That's this liquid boiling the demon.
Well, no. It's just liquid. Why does it bubble? Because it's the demon coming through. Oh. That's science right there, buddy.
That is science.
I mean, if you went back to the Middle Ages and you just had peroxide, you could make yourself like the king of some barony or some shit.
You would be like, oh my god.
Oh, look at
you'd be burned as a witch.
Jurgen cut himself on a plow. Oh yeah, well let me put some of my demon juice on there, and all the demons will come out, and it'll get better. Oh, it's a miracle. And Jurgen lived. He later died of consumption, but he didn't die of the cut.
Yeah.
So the kids would not rat her out. The shitty details that we have about what happened by the pier around the fire are because she never said a fucking thing. And everything I told you is basically everything that the kids said.
Huh.
The Tampa Bay Times contacted one of the kids, Stephen Chanthalima, who was 17, but all he would say is, I'm okay, I'm fine. All I know is she's in custody. Nothing else.
Huh.
Nothing. So, we were left with her only getting 6 months for child abuse. They would have been able to get her for way more shit, I am sure, had the kids squealed. And at this point, this is why I think that the satanic panic was so terrible. Those kids were a lot younger. The power of this kind of thing, if you already knew that she did X amount of things, they could have fucking pigpiled on that like crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
Not only did they not make up other shit, they specifically didn't even tell the stuff she actually did.
That
like
did
not
happen. Yeah.
This is where they think
Yeah,
the
that's
grooming
crazy. That
part
never
came
happens.
in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like she'd been working them over for a while, preparing them for this.
or they were grateful because the demons were gone. That's another
Yeah, but then
possibility.
you have to. Well, that's the. So she groomed them into believing into all that shit.
Well, I mean, you also have to entertain the fact that she was right. I mean,
About what?
the demons. We don't know.
What did I miss? You mean
What
she was
if-
right?
If she was right about demons and they did get out,
But all the kids had demons, and only what, 2 of them got cut?
well, I think probably some of them were cut so insignificantly that they didn't count as being injured. Maybe it was like if you actually had to have a Band-Aid that counted as injured. I mean, I'm sure the kid that got his hand burnt was pretty hurt, but he was like extra cauterized, so he was demon free. Now,
so
after
it's your contention. Do you contend?
Are you telling the court that she was successful in her ritual?
That you're saying that they were possessed, and that the reason that they didn't rat on her is because they're better now.
They were grateful.
And they're grateful.
Right. I'm just saying that. And by the way, whenever you hear somebody in an argument or on Facebook say like, do your own research, or I'm just trying to have an open mind, or,
right.
You know, you just can't listen to the lamestream media, you have to look at this stuff yourself. They're about to say something as dumb as, well, it might have been that they really did have demons and they didn't tell on her because they were grateful. That's the level of dumb that usually follows those kinds of statements. Because essentially, saying do your own research on the internet is like you're at Lollapalooza and somebody goes, hey, do you know how to cure cancer? Well, I don't know, but I'll ask everybody at this concert because that's doing research and one of them might know. That's
right. Well, it's the fact that with the way media is, that the fact that somebody is on TV and saying stuff makes what they say have weight. And when you have a doctor who may be the only doctor, or one of 1% of all doctors who has a view, you put them on TV and it gives that view weight. And you're going to have people that see that and then believe it. So even though there's no research behind it, no actual knowledge behind it, you know, just the fact that you did your research and saw some video on YouTube or some shit.
There's a guy kind of exactly like you just described who says that he's a doctor from Oxford, except that he got his doctorate on the internet and he's from Oxford, Mississippi, but he doesn't tell you that part.
Oh, so he got it from Ole Miss.
So, after she did her time, her paltry 6 months, she disappeared.
Ugh.
Like, poof. So nobody knows what the fuck the whole thing was even about. The cop said at the time, obviously it's very strange. The motivations for the ritual are very unknown to us. She hasn't informed us exactly what she was trying to accomplish with this. Well, the demon part.
Well, yeah, didn't she tell them she was freeing the kids of demons?
I mean, did the cops not buy it? Cops never believe people. So, the grooming thing, I mean, you have to think that there was some level of grooming involved in all of this, because if there hadn't been, then why the fuck would they have gone?
Oh, there had to be. There had to be, and like I can picture it too. Like you see it on like a TV show like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but one that's not as good, where like a girl would do something because I don't know. I always see girls as being more vulnerable. It's probably because I'm sexist, but
Yep, that 100%.
Oh yeah, and like the teacher like just sees something that maybe is something that is just something unique she has, like a little tick or something like that, and then uses that and says that that's a sign of like possession or some shit, and then builds on that with like other little things like that until they like get you to believe anything.
Now, to be fair, it was 6 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah, look at that.
But point taken.
Well,
also, she
female teacher, which would then make it easier to get guys.
She's kind of cute.
Most of the molesty ones were too.
She didn't molest them. She just burnt
I'm not
them.
saying she did.
She just burnt them.
Like Mary Kay Letourneau.
Well, yeah, but I think that it's the. I genuinely think, and this is, by the way, this ended up not being a short episode at all, but.
No, we're at almost an hour.
Yeah, I know. But since you brought it up, the whole lucky kid, the unattractive female rapists don't get publicized like the attractive ones do. Specifically, I think, because the media doesn't find it as like scintillating. Right. Like, oh well, if you're just a ugly mad woman, then of course you had to rape children because you could never get somebody else. Unlike this hot woman, that rapist looks like Fred Flintstone. So you know what I mean? So I think that I think it happens way, way, way more than we think. But I fell into it too, because I was like, why are they always hot? Why?
Yeah, why? No. It just sucks that you have to think of literally everything with like skepticism. Like you can't just hear something, whether it be on the news or whatever, and be like, all right, that's true. Like you have to freaking like look up like everything now. It
yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I think the fact that like if you watch the fucking network nightly news or some shit like that, and I'm just talking about the news part. Like everybody bitches about CNN. Nobody ever bitched about headline news because it was just around the world in 30 minutes. I'm just going to tell you things that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no like 10-minute A block of a bunch of people talking about why it happened or what needs to happen next or blah, 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 and everything like that. That's just ESPN for politics. This news, if Lester Holt went on the air today and said Barack Obama had to have his stomach pumped from sucking so many dicks, like he'd get in trouble because you can't do that because people are actually paying attention. So same way with a newspaper. I don't care what newspaper you're in. If you go into the thing that says, like, I don't know, Slash from Guns N' Roses killed 40 men, like that's going to be a problem for your paper. You're going to get sued. It's the internet where none of that happens. It doesn't happen at all. There's no fucking rules. So
but I think with the other, I think with quote unquote real news, right, networks and stuff like that, I think that they're not going to necessarily lie, but you have to be skeptical of where they're coming from.
Well, that's true. That's true. But like
that's what I mean. Like that, like, they're not going to outright lie, unless Dan Rather with a stupid fake memo, like an idiot.
Yeah, but he got in
I
trouble.
didn't know ST got little only on new computers.
Yeah, that's
He got
that's
fired
yeah,
because
exactly.
that's
That's
what
what I'm saying.
happens when
When you fuck up,
liberals
when you
do
actually
things like
have,
that.
yeah, when you have a duty to fucking
Yeah.
report the truth. Thank God that doesn't happen to us. Anyway, I'm tired of Satan getting blamed for everything. The fact that she said they were demons don't technically mean Satan. You can't just throw Satan in there when you're talking about demons.
Do they even have to be working for him? Are there different kinds of
There's
demons?
got to be freelance demons.
Well,
There's
because
gotta be.
I could, because every movie or show's got different lore to it. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, but so does the Bible has different lore. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
like depending on which one you read. Speaking of
Right.
which, that was actually an amazing segue that you just did, because
Thank you.
we're going to talk about, for just a minute, we're going to talk about Satan. Now, Satan.
I did a report on him.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went pretty good. It was with that professor you had with the problem of evil.
Oh yeah. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
So
He was a good guy.
here's the story on Satan. It's made up. it's made up because originally, and you got to go by the Old Testament, because the Old Testament was written down, and it was written in Hebrew, and then it got translated into Greek, and the translating back, the people that did the translating kind of dicked with it. And by kind of, I mean a lot, to the point where the whole term Lucifer, it's in the Bible, it's called Lucifer, blah, 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 blah. That was in one translation. It was in one translation, because the original text didn't say that.
What did the original text say? Louis Cypher.
It was some variation of light bearer, star, morning star. Because the quote unquote Satan, that character in the Old Testament, was really, the word meant adversary.
Adversary.
Not like,
and it was lowercase s.
Yeah, I'm not equal with you. Like, you know what I mean? He was more like the district attorney, whereas God was the president. You know, and he's like, oh, I'm not really sure you should do that. Blah, blah, blah. So,
well, he kind of was, in Job, he's kind of like a jerk, right? He's like, oh, yeah, you think humans love you so much.
You think so big. Yeah, but then God would totally took the bait. He's like, yeah, watch me fuck this guy.
Oh, yeah, God was a total jerk. And he's like, Job, kill your son.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Scrape them boils with a shard of pottery. Like, what? Who? So, what it comes down to is the guy that put the word Lucifer in the Bible.
Yes. This one guy.
Was this one fucking guy. The way I heard it told was trying to become the bishop of his area in whatever, France or wherever the fuck it was. And the guy that was his main competition's name happened to be Lucifer. So he basically changed the Bible to fuck with this guy that no one ever would fucking remember in a bazillion years. And that's how that came in. And the original translation in the book of Genesis was a fucking snake. It was a snake. It wasn't anything else. It was just a snake. A snake fucking with him. Going, hey, what are you doing over there? Like, it wasn't that whole, oh, well, then the snake must have been Satan because Satan is the bad guy. That came in. That's like George Lucas writing the prequels. Like, after he had already written Star Wars, he's like, well, that doesn't fit, so we got to change it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I never read that. Did they actually change it to say it's him? So I only read like snake or serpent.
Right, but the conventional. Remember when
there's just the belief behind it is that
what they taught that it meant
I would think it would be Voldemort
Right.
speaking
It
parcel
fits.
tongue.
It's got to fit. It's got to fit their idea. It's got to.
Yeah.
It's essentially Satan had to be invented because there needed to be a big bad for the Catholic Church show to get renewed. And
Well, I think there needed to be somebody to blame for how shitty everybody's lives were, right?
well, yeah, you couldn't blame God. Well, no, actually, they got around that by saying, well, yeah, it's obviously because of something you did, Jurgen.
You're not being holy enough.
Yeah, exactly. You fucked it up. So
you're only tithing 20% of your pay.
I guess what I'm saying, even the Church of Satan is dumb because the Satan's not a thing. Satan's not
right.
a thing.
He's not a guy.
There's not a guy. I mean, if you and even if it was a guy, let's spin this out to the logical fucking conclusion. Let's just take it all 100% face value, where he was cast out. Which, by the way, people just mix Paradise Lost in with the Bible and pretend it's all the same thing.
It's all the same stuff.
All the time. So Satan said,
well, it takes place at the same time.
Yeah, it was in the same universe. So the idea that Satan came out of and said no, non serviam, and God was so mad that he said it that he kicked him out, then the only place that makes sense for him to have gone, he sent him to Earth. This is the biggest fuck you to all of human society is the punishment that God thought up was to put him here. Like,
right.
And if you believe it all at face value, then you have to believe that Satan was so bent about his job being sitting around paradise singing about how great God is, he's like, fuck this, man, I want to watch TV. But TV doesn't exist, so I'm just gonna do nothing, even though I'm a fucking weird exotic being that doesn't get tired or anything like that. I just ain't doing it. And as my punishment, I'm going to be taken away from all this paradise stuff and then decide, well, that's a great fucking idea. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here and fuck with God when God was the one that sent me here. If it was real, God could just go, well, stop fucking with my humans now. I'm going to send you somewhere else. I'm going to send you to Jupiter where there are no people and you can't do shit.
Right.
Or, as an even worse punishment, say, I forgive you and bring him back. Which, if God is supposed to be the way they say God is supposed to be, is what he would do.
Well, the problem is that you can't argue with logic any knowledge that comes through anything other than logic.
Fine.
I'm just saying. It's all nonsense. I'm just saying
that I went through all that stuff talking about Satan because it didn't have anything to do with demons, because demons could totally be real.
Could totally.
All a demon is a ghost with an agenda. That's what I think.
That's how you define demon?
Yep. As of right now. 1 second ago.
So they don't have any corporeal form?
If ghosts could have
kind of like the fog kind of shit, like
if you watch
like
any
Buffy and stuff,
fucking show about, oh well, ghosts have unfinished business and they died in a traumatic way and they're coming back to, you would not be able to fucking walk down the street without bumping into like 1 million Native American and black ghosts, because what the fuck?
Pretty sure. Yeah, there were a lot of bad.
Jesus Christ. Talk about unfinished business. Well, I don't know. You destroyed our whole continent, so maybe we're going to come back and fucking push you down the stairs. Like, that only makes me wish that there were ghosts.
No, the
Because
only
that
kind
would
of
be
real
pretty
ghosts are women in dresses with scary faces.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
That's the only ghosts that I think are real.
Forlorn fanny.
Right. My
Traipsing
husband
around the
died, or
garden.
my wife did.
Not the person that we fed to the
Moaning
fucking
Myrtle.
wolves. Oh, Jesus Christ. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you play your cards right and you go out of your way to make sure that you tell your little army of possessed teenagers to not text anybody, then you too can get away with having a terrible cookout where you make children dance around and half-ass cut each other with bottles and then somehow have perfume and pour it on them and set them on fire, and you would not get caught.
Nope. But you can't count on those kids.
No. Also, I do like the idea of...
She could throw in sex. That's how you have Annie.
Yeah, but see, there was 6 of them and 1 gal.
It's kind of like It.
Oh, Christ. Oh, man. Oh. Jesus Christ, you're right.
That.
Oh, so awful. So, I mean, that's it for this week. I'm sorry that it went. I really thought that this was going to be like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, this is not short.
No, it wasn't. But you know what? It's spooky season, so whatever. So I gave you a person spooky thing because what they did was spooky, but it was tied. They tried to tie it to supernatural spooky.
Yeah,
that was the plan, and I think I achieved it.
Dude, plus, you crushed it, yo.
Really, the first story is the worst one, and I had never heard of it. In 1997, that happened. Never heard of it.
Never heard it.
Columbine sucked up everything, and that was 2 years later.
That was 99, yeah. So I remember how Columbine fucked up the Buffy season 3 finale, and they postponed airing it for like months. Remember that? This was the one where they destroyed the high school.
Oh. No shit.
Yep.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, that's it. That's it. If you are a fan of Satan, and you want to talk about it, you can email strangefulthings@gmail.com. You can go to, what's the name of our thingy?
allmylinks.com/strangefulthings.
Yeah. Then you can get our Twitters and Instagrams and shit like that. And all
that good stuff.
The video aspect of our empire is in the works, folks.
We're just trying to find the right actors to play us in front of the camera.
Yes.
They're just going to lip sync what we say.
Yep. 100%.
We'll be like Milli Vanilli. There's no way we could put these faces in front of a camera.
And come to the Discord, because the Discord link is in there. And we can talk about topics.
Hot topics.
Yeah, hot topics. No. We can talk about things like an actual thing, the Ohio Mummy Man.
Well, I'll look forward to that. And I think that's enough for this episode. So keep on flapping.
Bye-bye.